Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Norisring. It is free practice 2 for the DTM Trophy. It's the final 2 races of the season. I don't know, I am super pumped for this weekend. It's going to be super exciting. There's 3 points separating the front 2 in the championship, and then there is only 11 points separating 3rd down to 6th. Oh, it's going to be exciting. As we've got some fans there, just all having their lunch. I've just had my lunch as well, if you were interested. It was indeed a hot dog I had. It was beautiful. And I had a donut as well. Milka chocolate. First time for me. Yeah, it was good. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. How are we all doing though, ladies and gentlemen? Let me know where you're watching from around the world. Indeed, let me know who you are here supporting. The clouds have subsided. The beautiful weather is now showing. The German community here will be telling you that it's cold weather. It's not. I'm in shorts. People are laughing at me. But then the sun came out. Now everybody's going to be melting. And I'm not. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling cool. Nice wave on screen there. So many people here for a Friday. The excitement is absolutely real. So all of the cars then are indeed entering the pits. Final checks for them, and then we've got a second free practice session. Final chance for them to indeed, of course, find their settings, dial it up, ready for qualifying tomorrow morning, and the races, of course, coming up. Selena from Germany, how you doing? Thomas Neat watching from work in England. Love to see that. Absolutely love to see that. Hope your bosses aren't listening though. Or hopefully they are, and they're just a very welcoming audience. Everybody should have an allowance on a Friday, 40 minutes, to watch DTM Trophy. Maybe some governments will pass that bill soon enough. So here we go then. Ben Green leads Will Tregurtha by 3 solitary points. That is the difference between P1 and not P1. So in tomorrow's qualifying, for instance, just as hypothetically, if Tregurtha was to go and get pole position and Ben Green were to get 4th, it would be a tie at the top of the championship. Michael Schrey here this week for the Bonk Motorsport team leads the quadruple, or the quartet, as they say. 4 drivers separated by 11 points, battling for that 3rd position in the championship. It's exciting. It's going to be frantic. And the track, well, it is both of those as well. 4 corners around this circuit. 4 corners. I actually did a bit of a ride around here last night. I cycled my way around the circuit, and it didn't take long at all. It was quite good fun. So very interesting indeed. Samoli here to support Matthias Salonen. Nice. Love to see it. Alien Kind is from Germany. Watching on the night shift in New Zealand. The New Zealand contingent are here. Nice to see you, Adam. Welcome. Indonesia as well. Danke. Zagri from Romania. There is Matthias Salonen's car then, the Finn. And I tell you what, in terms of balance of performance, I feel like coming into the weekend, I figured it was going to be an Audi party at the front this weekend, but I think the balance of performance is as close as we've had it. Nico Verdonk was the fastest in terms of practice earlier on today, so expecting to see him be very quick. Of course, everybody's favourite Belgian. But yeah, surprisingly, there's a lot of different manufacturers at the front end. Lerner is P3 in free practice, and he's a slow burner normally. Normally gets faster and faster as the weekend goes on. Now we're going to potentially see that the same for him. If he does get faster and faster, that says to me he's going to move up towards the very sharp end of the grid, which will be, well, a huge welcome to the fan base, I would imagine. Chris Williams. How you doing, Chris? How is it actually being on track? Well, Terrendale, it's given me the opportunity to go around the circuit and have a look at the nuances of the circuit, which is fantastic. I will go into that in a little bit more depth, actually, once they get out onto track here. We've only got 44 seconds before they do indeed embark upon the Norisring, as we like to call it, the Lando Norisring, just so it makes it easier for me to be able to pronounce the place. War from the Netherlands, welcome. The first practice was not streamed, no. Only the second practice session each week is streamed. This track is on Race Room, Thomas Nee, and on Assetto Corsa. So we've got ourselves 10 seconds until we start, and then we are off out. And the track is so short, they could theoretically go out there and do 40 to 45 laps of practice. They won't, but theoretically they could indeed do that. With the circuit being around about a 50, I reckon by the time we get to qualifying trim, a 53-second lap. How you doing, Cam? Of course I remember you. Of course. What, you saw these cars in Assen? Wicked. Here we go then, there's turn number 1. There's a lot of bricking on the inside of this curb, or actually, should I say, a little bit further out from the curb. So you can see the curbing on the inside, but then there's bricks. So you'll see that they won't generally go and touch that curb, I guess, unless someone's trying to make a move on the inside. We head up towards turns number 2 and 3, which is a chicane, which really does favour the KTMs here. So you'll see them absolutely swinging through here like it's no tomorrow. And then they've got the long run down towards the final corner. And this final corner is very unique. And you're going to look at it and think, oh, they're obviously going to be able to cut the final corner here. That is not the case. And I will tell you exactly why, as we will be on board with Tregurtha, second in the championship. There's Sebastian Cornelay then as well in number 31. So you can see that the red and white curbs there, right? That is actually not the curb. They are there, and they are right next to what is just a normal curb you'd find on a street. In your town centre, you'll see curbs next to a road. There is a long run of curbs there, and they've put the red and white curbing, the stone curbs there, to stop drivers from being able to, well, rip their wheels off effectively. So you will not see them cut that part of the circuit because it will kill their cars. So a little interesting fact for you there. I'll tell you one thing, though. One thing that I didn't realise, and television cannot do these cars justice, I'll tell you that right now, how fast they are. They are super, super quick. That is for certain. Breakout star of the championship for me, Theo Uverhaus. The only driver, apart from him and Reinhard Koffler, the two I haven't yet had a chance to say hello to. So hopefully I get to say hello. But he's racing in the BMW M2 championship here as well, so he's very, very busy this weekend. And he's currently purple. So, yeah, he would have got the most laps on this circuit. As it is going to be 57.84. That will indeed improve, that's for sure. Lucas Mauron then, again, who I would have said was favourite coming into today. He's put a second time in, but it's a 103.135. So, yeah, not the quickest of times. Michael Schrey wasn't available last week. He was racing in the GT4 Championship over at the Nordschleife. And he's actually leading that championship. So good to see him back. And also you can see on the exit here of that chicane, there's loads of slabbing. So you want to hope that there's no loose slabs that you go over there. It's very easy to rip them up. Unless my dad built them. He's a very good builder. They'll stay there for decades, years, hundreds of years. Theo Uverhaus still the quickest, although Piana racing for the Bonk Motorsport team is very quick. They have high expectations for him this weekend, and, well, already delivering here. And that number 3 car, purple, means he's going to be the quickest through Sector 1 and Sector number 2. Not the longest of laps either. Remember, it's going to be around about a 50. I think by the end of the day, it's going to be 54. Or at the end of the weekend, it's going to be about 54, 50, low 55. It does indeed, Wart. So, yeah, this circuit, the one thing that I would say in terms of its characteristics is the bumps everywhere. As we see Jan Zimmer moving left and right with his indicator on. Spoke to him yesterday, really lovely chap. He's really excited. Didn't have a good free practice one. Haven't managed to find out exactly why, but I will be able to find out before qualifying tomorrow. But if his car's good in this session, then it doesn't really matter, does it? As Theo Uverhaus is behind Piana now. Piana with a 56.014 is a couple of hundredths ahead then of Theo Uverhaus, but Uverhaus is about to absolutely destroy that time. He's now done the first 55 of the session, and is a 55.708. And after his exploits at the Hockenheim Ring and his performances in Assen, are you saying, you know, could anyone write off Theo Uverhaus? This guy has the potential to be right up the sharp end for sure. Piana and Schrey, teammates then, have just gone up into second and third position respectively. Mauron, who did not look super fast in free practice 1, again, expecting him specifically in the Audi to be right at the sharp end. Well, he is today. P4, 6/10 of a second then behind. Fastest in free practice 1. Nico Verdonk, everybody's favourite Belgian. He is currently in second spot then, 600s behind. And that Toyota looking very quick indeed. Got to talk to their mechanics as well this weekend, and yeah, they were quietly optimistic. They didn't really know too much in terms of where they were going to be until free practice 1 was over, but I spoke to the head mechanic and he was super, super pumped with the performance, and he feels like there's a huge chance. But he did say that they need to watch out for the KTMs and the Bonk Motorsport team. That's exactly what his words were. So Moritz Lerner then. Whew. Everybody's favourite esports driver. He is up into P1, 55.664, and it lasted all of about 3.5 seconds because Michael Schrey and Piana have gone up into P1 and P2. So the Bonk team are right up the sharp end now, aren't they? Theo Uberhaus now 0.4 of a second behind, and the times are starting to tumble. So Eric, you live here. Yeah, what a beautiful place it is. Very, very beautiful place. Mega Den 1. That's my dad. My dad's watching. Good to see him. A BMW track. Discolda, I believe the BOP is the best it's been throughout the championship. This is going to be an exciting one to watch this weekend for sure. 100%. I think anybody can win this weekend, and I'd be very surprised if we don't have two different winners. Schrey, you got to think Schrey and Piana right now, they are slipstreaming each other. Very obviously, they've been swapping positions and slipstreaming each other, whereas nobody else has really been working with their teammate as of yet. So you are really probably seeing what they can achieve as a maximum now. Whereas to drivers such as Lerner is on his own effectively out there. And you can see Nico Verdonk has just gone faster than a 54.974. Remember, they're around about a second faster than they are when it comes to a second slower in free practice 2, and then in qualifying they normally go around about a second faster. So we are looking at hitting that 53, I think, this weekend. Ben Green, championship leader, fastest in free practice 2 then as it stands. Super tight at the top end. Tregurtha yet to get a representative time. Jan Zimmer, green, two really good sectors as Lerner just went over the line. Currently still 4th position. Jan Zimmer moves up into a top 6. As it stands then, the top 6 separated by about 0.4 of a second. Lucas Mauron's just gone up to P7, 6.5 tenths as they head up towards turn number 1. Slotblog, you are from Nuremberg, are you? Nice. What time does the race start tomorrow? It will be local time, 2 p.m. So pretty much the same time as we are right now. Hold on, no, 3 p.m. Yeah, 3 p.m. So an hour later than what we are currently. We have qualifying early in the morning as well. So qualifying and a race for race 1 is on Saturday. Qualifying and the race for race 2 is indeed on Sunday. Where can you make a big difference on this track? For me, it will be about how early you get the power down on the exit of the final corner. So what we're seeing right now, we're seeing the cars come up towards the line. I'm sure we'll see a close-up of the cars coming out the final corner at some point during the session. I kind of will explain it to you there. But you'll see the cars are bouncing up and down. And obviously with there being less weight onto the wheels of the car, then the cars can start over-rotating their wheels. So the wheels basically are moving faster than what the car is going forward. So that means that then they're going to obviously light up the wheels. The tyres are going to become worse across the race, but ultimately they just can't, they're going nowhere. They're just spinning the wheels up and losing so much time. So it's all about how good you are with your throttle control around here, because it's just basically a normal road. It's got so many repairs of tarmac like you would see in a normal road. When a pothole has opened up, they've just repaired it, and there's just so many different levels of the circuit where some of the circuit's sunk over the years, some of it hasn't. It's so unique in that regard. Here we go. So you're going to watch Mauron here. You can just see the car bouncing. See the car bouncing on exit around that left-hander. And again, there you go. So just as they come up towards the grid slots, it really worsens as well. So you've got to try and manage the throttle. So when the car's bouncing, you've got to keep it so that you're letting off or giving more when you can. So ultimately, that's where they're going to lose or gain the most time, in my opinion. So yeah, it should be a really interesting one. Cam, qualifying is tomorrow morning. Also, guys, they are on YouTube. You're watching on YouTube right now. To anyone watching around the world, if you're wondering who I'm talking to, I'm actually talking to the YouTube chat as well. So, yeah, if you want to come and say hello, head over to the YouTube chat. Lucas Mauron is going slow here. I wonder if he's just letting the BMWs go through. But yeah, on the DTM YouTube page that you're watching on right now, ladies and gentlemen, you can go and put notification on for qualifying and the race. They are already queued up on the DTM YouTube page. So that way you'll get exactly the right time, and you'll get notified on your mobile device or whatever device you are using. I've done loads of laps here, Cam and Sim. Loads of laps. commentated many sim racing races around here as well. As early as last week, actually. Last week we had a race around here as well. So it is such a unique place. It really is. Beautiful place. Also, there's lots of overhanging trees here. So it's one of those circuits, if we do see a bit of weather over the course of this weekend, there's going to be certain parts of the circuit that just will not dry up as quickly as others. So keep an eye on that. There's a lot of cloud cover, so the potential for rain is there. And there is Ben Green, and currently second. 54.6 for Nico Verdonk is the quickest time, and he does look like the driver to beat today or this weekend. And there's Tregurtha. Doesn't look like they're going ultimately too fast right now. Tregurtha currently 3 seconds off the pace, not finding too much speed, and this is not looking good here. Is this potentially a setup for this lap, or is this no, this is a I'm coming into the pits lap, isn't it? This is not good at all. Yeah, there we go. And I don't know what's going on with that AMG, but I can assure you that is not where they want to be. 28 minutes, 50 seconds to go, so you want to hope it's something just fixing the pits and they're good to go. You want as much lap time here as possible, just because of the bumps on the circuit. You want to figure out exactly where you need to be, you know, feathering that throttle pedal. Where is the track located? Right in the middle of Germany. It's a couple of hours from Frankfurt. Slot block, that's amazing here. What a beautiful city Nuremberg is. Beautiful city. So my hotel's right bang in the middle of it. And yeah, it's very, very, very picturesque. So just doing some pressure checks here by the looks of things. So maybe nothing to be too worried about. Obviously, with Ben Green and Tregurtha being the two drivers going for this championship, we want to see them both in the biggest form possible. And they both seem a little bit nervous this weekend as well. And I can assure you one thing: if you're wondering if this championship means anything to them, oh boy, there they both want it. They both hugely want this championship. But there's just a few nerves in the paddock. One driver that doesn't seem to suffer with nerves at all is Lucas Maron. Yeah, he is full of beans yesterday. So again, there's those slabs on the exit of turn number 1. As Ben Green is blue right now. Reinhard Koffler, there we go. So we have not seen the maximum potential of the KTMs here, and I'm wondering if they were sandbagging in free practice 1. I guess they weren't, because you'd also sandbag in free practice 2, wouldn't you? But the whole paddock could be saying, watch out for the KTM Expos, and they just haven't really showcased their skill sets as of yet. Reinhard Koffler's just gone to put it up to P2 in behind Nico Verdonk. Moritz Lerner now P3. And very similarly to what we saw with free practice 1, the two championship leaders are not in that P1 position. So yeah, this is going to be a super, super interesting weekend's racing. You do not want to miss it. Remember, the top two in the championship, Ben Green and Will Tregurtha, are separated by 3 points, as Ben Green then does go purple through sector number 1. As we come then down in towards the hairpin, the final corner here. And again, stay away from those curbing. And look at the car. Look at the car bounce. Look at the rear bounce of this car. Look at that. It's so difficult to get that power down. Obviously, it becomes a little bit easier with the higher gears. And Ben Green has just gone second fastest. He was the quickest through sector number 1. As Will Tregurtha then goes up to P12 here. Who's just Lucas Maron. So again, expecting to see the Audis up there as Ben Green slides that car around the top of the track in turn number 1. Lucas Maron, who's only blue through sector number 2, so I'm not sure whether we're going to be expecting him to go much faster. P7 then, and he does a couple of positions, and it is getting closer there. Jan Zimmer then, so whatever issues he had in free practice 1, they seem to have disappeared here as Ben Green now takes the purple sector number 1. Again, anyone new watching this right now are thinking, what are those colors at the bottom of my screen? If the sector is purple, it means it's the fastest out of everybody on track. It's the fastest sector that's been done. If it's green, that means it's their personal best, their own fastest sector. And if it's blue, you don't need to be worried about that. It just means it's not as quick as anything they've done before. Across the line there for Ben Green, he's P2 by 0.08 of a second. So that final sector, again, getting that power down through the final corner, and on the exit of the final corner, that is where you can gain or lose the most amount of time around here. Yeah, the KTMs are quick here today. They are going to be quick. Have you spoke to the KTM mechanic? Yeah, what a welcoming team they are. The access to these cars and the drivers and the mechanics as well, they're all really happy to talk, which is amazing to see. So Ben Green now, blue, had to deal with Sebastian Cornelay though, I think, so that'd be why the lap isn't overly too fast. But yeah, if any of you are at the circuit this weekend, come over and say hello. You'll know who I am. I'll be in a pair of shorts, most likely, and I will also be wearing something very bright as a t-shirt or a shirt. So yeah, come over and say hello. More than happy to have a conversation. But as it stands then, we're coming up towards the halfway point of this session. Nico Verdonk is the lead car, 54.6648. Hundredths clear of championship leader Ben Green. Reinhard Koffler then is 1.5 tenths behind in P3. Moritz Lerner in P4. We've then got Jan Zimmer in P5. Michael Schrey in P6. 2.5 tenths separates that top 6. And if qualifying is going to be like this tomorrow, you can only imagine how close it's going to be. Who's going to take those bonus points? Remember, bonus points, it's going to come down to that. Ben Green is the fastest now, 54.539. I think we're definitely going to see a 53 tomorrow. So 54.5 is the fastest time, and Verdonk now with a little bit of work to do to try and get back up onto the top of the timesheets. We've got Mark De Fulgencio as well from last season, and it's really strange, his story. So Fulgencio's back, but he's racing in Fidel Leib's car. Yeah, if you remember Fidel last season. So yeah, Fidel Leib's car's here, and it's being raced by Fulgencio. So really, really good to see Fulgencio back, of course, into DTM Trophy. He's currently 0.8 of a second off the fastest time. He's in 11th position. Biella, this track is in Germany. We're in Nuremberg. Schlabber Racing. I'll be walking around everywhere, mate. I'll be walking around the circuit. You'll see me. I'm a quite big dude, and yeah, I'll be wearing something bright and shorts. I'll be the only person at the track wearing shorts. That's kind of a telltale sign as to who I am. It's like Where's Waldo, but where's Luke with the shorts? Dia Overhaus then, about to put in a very, very quick time. It's actually only good enough for P8 as it stands. I'm expecting him to get faster as the weekend goes on, though, for sure. He's going to be right up there. Again, breakout star of the season, 100%. A huge future. 16 years old, race winner in DTM Trophy. Yeah, these races, you can't. There's no such thing as a freebie in these races either. So difficult to get that result. Azraf, welcome. Welcome from Malaysia. Good stuff. Pranay Patel, welcome. Volcanic XM, I'm really good, thank you. How are you? Really looking forward to the racing this weekend. Schlabber Racing is going to be joining the shorts gang for the weekend. There we go. That is your challenge. The DTM Trophy YouTube community, I implore you, all turn up with your shorts Saturday and Sunday. Let's all become the shorts gang. I have had so many people stop me today and laugh at me, basically, and in German. And I don't understand what they're saying, but it's very clear that they're saying some things that are mean and bullying. But let's fight against that and become the shorts gang. and enjoy some incredible racing here at the Norisring. Should be good. Best place to gain time here. Mirko, you just joined, I would assume. Around the final corner, on the exit of the final corner, really, getting that power down. It's also the longest run. It's the longest part of the circuit in terms of flat-out speed. So between the final corner and up towards turn number 1. But it's so difficult to get that power down because the nature of the exit, there's so many bumps. So your car is just unsettled constantly, so it's very easy to lose the rear. Obviously, you want the momentum of the car to just be going forwards. So yeah, you've got to make sure that you get the power downs, you know, safely, but properly. Imagine, Michael, imagine all the drivers turning up in their shorts. There's Moritz Lerner and Sebastian Cornelet just giving us a bit of action as to what we're going to expect this Saturday and Sunday. Moritz Lerner is purple through Sector 1 and green through Sector 2. I would imagine he's lost a lot of time here through the final corner, so if he does a handy time here, well, I tell you what, if P1's handy, he's done a handy time. 0.04 of a second clear, and he would have for sure lost time. Moritz Lerner, he is looking quick. Oh, well, that's certainly not the right line, though. Through turn number 1. Let's forget about that. No one saw that. Let's just focus on this quick time. Jan Zimmer moves up to P4, and the BMWs then are starting to show their pace and power. And they've actually lost a bit of power, and they've actually gained a little bit of weight for this weekend in terms of the BAP. Turns out, that doesn't really matter too much. Nico Verdonk, though, he's splitting them, and Reinhard Koffler right up there as well. Harv, no, I'm not. No, I've got my own special little commentary booth. Oh, the bells and whistles. Honestly, it's like being in a Hilton hotel. It's not like being in a shed with carpet on the walls at all. It is not like being in a prison at all. For anyone wondering, I'm not in a prison. I don't need anyone to come break me out of this prison that I'm in. It is like being in a hotel. So if anyone finds the prison, come help me. No. Yeah, I'm in a little box. I'm not in that room, unfortunately, Harv. I'm not. It's Reinhard Koffler then. There we go. We're saying about the BMW dominance here. He's just going to put himself up into 3rd spot in that KTM. Again, the whole paddock, they're talking about this car. They're saying Reinhard Koffler and Laura Krahamer, those are the two to watch in terms of pace with the car. The car looks quick. Krahamer's car, though, is not quick right now. That is definitely not the most aerodynamic way of racing with a KTM Expo, so we need to get that down before we get going once again. Still 17 minutes to go, though. Plenty of time. As it stands, then, Lerner, Ben Green, Reinhard Koffler, Verdonk, Jan Zimmer. We've got Michael Schrey, Piana. We've then got Uverhaus, Tregurtha, and Mauron as your top 10. Expecting a bit more from Tregurtha, but then again, normally in free practice too, he tends to be a little bit further down. And then when we get to qualifying, he turns into an absolute monster. Will Tregurtha is legitimately the Hulk of the DTM Trophy grid. As Ben Green goes green, very appropriate, of course, considering his name. As Salonen just comes into the pits there in front. And Ben Green here is about to improve, I think. And he's actually only 1,000th of a second behind Moritz Lerner. And he's just gone P1. Wow. And it's, oh wow, it's only by about 100th and a half. 16,000ths of a second, Ben Green has just taken the fastest time, a 54.478. Woo, it's going to be close. I might be Chris. I might be being held here against my will. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, you guys won't be able to find me because I'm in like a secret location. Yeah. They don't want me to be discovered here. As into the pits then, Reinhard Koffler comes, and I would imagine now this is a case of, right, we're now going to do a quali sim. Let's figure out how quick we really are. I'll tell you what, I'm going to post my name into the chat. So go follow me on Instagram, ladies and gentlemen, and I will post a picture of my commentary booth after this broadcast, okay? So if you want to see it, I will post it afterwards. There you go. I can't do much better than that, so I've posted it, Actual Vision, in the chat. Make sure you go follow me there, and then you can see a picture of my, my commentary box. So we've only got 15 minutes to go. That is true, slot block. I actually had a bit of a history lesson this morning with Peter Obendorfer, and I thought I might leave that out of the broadcast. So, yeah. I'm glad you brought it up. Across the line, then, we will go for Ben Green. And, oh, wow. Wow. Sector 2 and Sector 3 were not really that quick considering what he'd done previously. Sector 1 was lightning. So again, if you can nail that final corner exit, you can gain so much time here. Ben Green's done exactly that. And now we're starting to see maybe some quality sims here. Yes, Ryan. It is. It is, Ryan. Absolutely, Wart. Absolutely. So through the final corner once again. And again, you're seeing no one trying to cut across that curb. Again, opening up that final corner is massive because the choke point on the exit is just catches up on you. So it's so easy to put the car into the wall. We've seen a couple of people go into the wall there today in the multiple series we've got here. So we've got the BMW M2, we've got a P9 championship, we've got the Touring Wagon Legends, which if you guys watch that, I'll be commentating on that this weekend. And we have the DTM itself. And we've had a couple of cars go into the wall there on the exit of the final corner. Oh, Wheatley. Got to learn to read. Stop it. Welcome, mate. Evo. How I see Theo Overhaus, okay? It takes a race victory to realize how good you can be, right? So you could be someone who's... This is what last season, I'm going to use this as an example. If Jan Casil, at any point last season, won a race in the first 3 rounds, he could have been a DTM Trophy champion last season. He was that consistent, he was that fast, and he was always up in the podium spots pretty much throughout the season, but he never managed to get that P1. And that, for me, as soon as if he got a P1, his confidence would be through the roof. But every single race, regardless if he finished in 2nd or 3rd, there was always someone still faster than him. So the confidence is a huge factor. As soon as Theo Overhaus won a race, you could just tell in his driving style that he is a different animal, a different beast entirely. So, yeah, to answer your question, can he repeat his performances? Absolutely. Like, sometimes it doesn't matter how good of a racing driver you are, you have to get that performance, you have to get that result for you to really believe yourself. So that's how I see things. So Overhaus, yeah, absolutely. He's a sensational talent. I'm genuinely blown away by the level of pace this young man has. I've seen a lot of racing drivers in my time. He is, for sure, remember the name, very special talent. Hey, McDade. Welcome. Chris, don't give away my real name. Oh, God. Here we go. Craig Hamer. Find us some pace then. Again, you just heard the car bogged down there on the exit. You heard that car bogged down on the exit there. That was Reinhard Koffler's, to be fair. As Kramer at P14 didn't find any time. Reinhard Koffler did, though. So Kramer needs to figure out that final sector. I think it's the most important part of the corner. That corner specifically. There's only 4 corners here, and I made the mistake. I made a huge mistake of just thinking, oh, this is a relatively simple track. Because I kind of based it really on a sim racing experience. I went around the track, last night, did a proper track walk. I've watched all of the classes of car this morning go round here. And boy, it's just the bumps of this. You've got to learn where the bumps are. And there are thousands of them. There's thousands of bumps here. You've got to learn where they all are to maximize your race time. It's only going to get brighter as the weekend goes on, McDade, as you know. It's fine. People know. People know what my name is. It's fine. I was only joking. McDade, Mega Denden's my dad. That's why he's saying hello. So right, anyway, through towards the chicane. Again, this is where the KTMs will really excel. And right now is the best time to ask any questions about this specific championship. We've got 10 minutes left of the session. When it comes to qualifying, when it comes to the races, there's a lot more action. So I'm going to be a lot busier, of course, and answering questions about the championship are not going to be the priority, unfortunately. But right now, this is a perfect time. Obviously, we would, you know, if there's something you don't quite understand, if I can help you, and then you're like, oh, I'm definitely going to be watching this then. So now I understand what's going on. Sometimes, it's, you know, once you've understood something, it's much more simple to follow. So if you've got any questions, now is genuinely the time to ask. And if I don't know the answer, unfortunately, I'll probably ignore the question. I will be honest with you. But if I do know the answer, I'll definitely try and help you out. But yeah, this is the best time with only 9 minutes to go, and then tomorrow it all kicks off. And if you're asking a question, you know, with a couple of minutes left of the final race, well, you know, I'm not going to be able to answer it because we've nearly finished the season. It's done. It's gone. But as it stands then, Ben Green is only 2/10 clear, and I think that's a big, big old margin. It's such a short circuit here, so that is a huge margin. But look how close it is then behind. You've got then the same gap between really second down into, what, P8? Nearly P9. Michael Schrey's only 0.6 of a second off in P10. And that's what happened last season. Like, the whole field just closed up. The whole field got faster and faster and faster as the season went on. Craig has found 0.3 there. Not a good first or third sector, yet found 0.3 of a second. So Craig, I think, could potentially be looking to move up to that top 12 spot. But yeah, what we saw last season is by the end of the season, they were so, so close. So, so close. Daedalus, there will be weight added to the cars that finished in the top 3 of the race last weekend in Hockenheim, so the second race. So the top 3 will all have ballast. More ballast for P1, 2, then a little less ballast for P2, then a little less ballast for P3. In terms of the balance of performance, the BMWs have had weight added to them, and they've lost a bit of power. And I believe the AMGs were given a power difference, like taken away. Power was taken away. And yeah, the rest have pretty much been left alone, I believe. Maybe the Audi. I think the Audi might have been had a bit of weight added. Tregurtha has just moved up to P5 actually, so there we go. Starting to see some performance from him. But remember, he is Bruce Banner right now. He's not the Hulk yet. He will turn into the Hulk. Tregurtha always tends to, well, he's actually P4, not P5. He always tends to leave it until the weekend to really show his muscle. You can see how many people are in the stands. Ladies and gentlemen, there are so many people here on a Friday. I'm not saying that there's a lot of, you know, places around the Nuremberg region that have a lack of employees working right now for various reasons of not being very well today. But there are a lot of people here on a Friday. Wart WB, who knows? Who knows? I certainly don't. Maybe. So right now then, it's really all about just trying to find those extra couple of hundredths. Tenths right now is huge, but hundredths are going to gain you the positions as Piana does go up into P2. And again, everyone was telling me, watch out for the Bonk team. They are going to be right in amongst it, that's for sure. And Piana is P2. And then we've got Michael Schrey, who is in P10. Needs to find another 0.4 of a second realistically here. So KTMs are still running behind. And well, Laura Craham has just found another 0.1 of a second. Nice bit of work from both of them. Myron Williams, regarding track limits, does the track limit penalties apply to each driver or per team? Well, if you go beyond the track limits around this circuit, you will be eating a wall and you'll be pulling teeth out of the steering wheel. So, yeah, you don't have to worry about it here. There's no track limits. There's no way you can really cut and gain an advantage. Like, up in towards turn number 1, you could, of course, cut that corner, but it's so raised that you'd lose a stupid amount of time. and into the final corner, you wouldn't be able to get a power early enough, so there's just nowhere to really lose it. But when we normally have track limits, it's just per driver. The beauty of it is, Sayabonga, is that you can watch it. You can watch it on wherever you're watching right now. It's going to be good. Yeah, Green has been very quick, and you know, I don't want to keep reminding him, but he's a bit of a second-place man in terms of the championships he's been in. This would be a huge championship win if he was to go out there and get it done. So very much used to finishing in second in championships. Always at the sharp end, a sensational driver, just never really been able to get across the line as that P1. Is this the season? Is Ben Green going to become the DTM Trophy 2021 champion? We've got 2 races to sort that out. It is only between 2 drivers. It's between Ben Green and Will Tregertha. Mathematically, they're the only 2 that can win it, but then there is that battle for second spot. Michael Schrey. We've also got, indeed, Nico Verdonk. Reinhard Koffler is moved up to second spot then. Just over 1/10 of a second behind Ben Green, and that KTM is looking very quick today. And just remember, Reinhard Koffler's got no ballast in the car. Ben Green will have ballast in the car for the race this weekend. So Reinhard Koffler will be very much there or thereabouts, I would imagine. But yeah, we've got a battle for P3 in this championship as well. Michael Schrey currently leading that group by 6 points. Then you've got Nico Verdonk in that little group of 6 drivers as well. And we've got Theo Uberhaus already also battling with Lucas Mauron. So those are the 4 drivers battling for third. There's 11 points separating those 4 drivers. So yeah, very exciting indeed. Who knows, Miguel Amorim, who knows? Blood. All these cars sound ridiculous. Again, television can't do it justice. So yeah, we know that the DTM Trophies drivers, they really love to push the track limits. And well, if you try and push the wall here, that isn't moving. But what a place to have a finale. What a place to have such history here. Koffler's your favorite driver. Nice. Yeah, he's quick. He is a quick driver. So here we go then. Final laps are going to be coming in. Enough to maybe get 3 more attempts in. Right now, this is going to be a proper qualification sim. And there is Will Tregertha. P12 is Matthias Salonen. So not a newcomer, no. Raced every single race this season. If you're referring to P11, that is Fulgencio. Mark de Fulgencio. Raced last season, did a full season. And he's in Fidel Lieb's car from last season, actually. Racing for the Lippert Motorsport Group in the AMG. Yes, Chris. This is Chris. Correct. Street circuit. Yeah, Ryan, it's mind-blowing, isn't it? The Touring Wagon Legends, the Alfa Romeo, honestly, yesterday when I flew in, my ears popped so badly that I couldn't hear anything. It's like I had earbuds in constantly. That Alfa Romeo sorted that problem out for me today, no problem. I was like, thank you very much. Should be offering a service. So loud. 1 minute, 30 seconds left to go. Top 10 separated by half a second. If that's not a big enough advert for you lot to be watching for this weekend, I do not know what is. So however you're watching around the world, make sure to be tuned in this weekend. If you are indeed in Europe, it is going to be qualifying early tomorrow morning, and then indeed the race will be 3 p.m. CEST. Same schedule then for the Sunday as well in terms of the race. Qualifying is early in the morning. If you're watching on YouTube, the race and the qualifying are already queued up ready, so you can just click that bell and it will give you a notification as to when it goes live. I think we are going to be in for an absolutely incredible finale. You won't want to miss it. You want to be able to say, I was there when such and such won this championship. I was there when the crazy shenanigans went down at the Norisring in 2021. It's going to be good. At 1933, Loris was the first time this area was in use, but not for motorsport. This area's been around a long time. So down to the final corner, and a touch of a run wide there for Tregurtha, trying to put the fastest possible time in at the death of the session. As the checkered flag does indeed fall, Tregurtha does not improve, but again, we know that Will Tregurtha is a bit of a sandbagger when it comes to practice, doesn't really leave it all out there. And when it comes to qualifying, just turns into a different animal altogether. One thing that I will say is if we do have some weather this weekend, if we have some rain, there's so many white lines all over the circuit that could be an issue. So watch out for that this weekend, for sure. But as indeed the checker flag has dropped, there's Nico Verdonk, who took the spoils in the first practice session, is not going to take the spoils in the second one. Everybody's crossed the line. Ben Green is going to take the fastest time of 54.275. And again, they normally get a little bit faster when it comes to qualifying. And I think we are going to see one of those cheeky 53s. Here is your official timings then. Ben Green, P1. Reinhard Koffler, P2. Piana and Lerner, P3 and P4. Tregurtha and Jan Zimmer are in P5 and P6. Jan Zimmer, shout out to you. Very big smiles yesterday when I saw you. Michael Schrey and Verdonk are in 7th and 8th. Theo Uverhaus and Lucas Mauron are in 9th and 10th. Half a second separates the top 10. There is nothing in it. Mark de Fulgencio back once again, 8/10ths back. Matthias Salonen is 9/10ths back. We've then got Cox in 13th position. That's rounding out the top 13, but it's all about the Drivers' Championship here then. Ben Green leads by 3 points. Remember, 3 points is pole position. You get pole position tomorrow, you gain 3 points. So if Tregurtha was to go out and get 3 points by qualifying pole tomorrow and Ben Green was in 4th, it would be tied going into the race. That is how close it is. Qualifying is going to mean absolutely everything this week. Michael Schrey, Nico Verdonk, Uverhaus, and Mauron, they are separated by 11 points for that top 3 battle in the championship. Jan Zimmer, could he potentially maybe get a couple of race wins and put himself in that hunt? Who knows? It is super, super close in the championship, ladies and gentlemen. You genuinely do not want to miss it. I am super pumped here. It's going to be great.